I'm Cullen Haynes, and welcome to Live with Cullen Haynes, Ledger Legends, episode 19. And my next guest is coming all the way from Utah in the States. I've been told that in the wintertime, it is the best snow in the universe. So I have to get over there. 26 years at Universal Accounting, brings a plethora of experience, and has been president since 2014, joined in 1999. So without further ado, can you please welcome my esteemed guest and friend, Mr. Roger Knecht. Welcome to the show, Roger. Great to have you on, sir.
My honor. Happy to be here, Colin.
Very, very good. And tell us, everyone wants to know what's been happening in your circle of influence and your world at the moment, my friend.
Lots going on. Right now, we're in an attitude of gratitude in the sense that we're preparing here in the States for Thanksgiving. So this is something that's quite exciting for all of us as we reflect on the blessings in our lives. So there you go.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Any Thanksgiving resolutions or anything that you got planned for the coming year that you are wanting to do for 2026?
You know, it's interesting you just asked. I did with my management team a vision board. It's something that I try to do annually, and it's where we try to visualize what we expect in the future, where you manifest, if you can, what it is that you'd like to focus on. And in that, one of the things that I always prioritize, and it's right in the center of my vision board, is the phrase, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's basically keeping that attitude of gratitude where you're actually acknowledging that there are blessings that you're getting in your life, and you need to have that abundance mindset at the same time, and attitude of gratitude. So maybe that's relevant.
I'm endeared by what you're saying, and you don't sound like you're in the finance and accounting world. I must say, you sound like you should be on stage motivating a whole huge auditorium of people with the likes of Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, and Wayne Dyer. Is that something that you've done in the past? Because you're very good at it, I must say, Roger.
Thank you. It is something I have done. I've been on the main stage, and I enjoy it quite a bit.
Very, very good. So if you are just joining in, talking to Roger Knecht, and we're talking about starting the day with an attitude of gratitude, check up from the neck up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But making it a bit funner, if you were to look back on your whole life so far or your career in the finance world, how would you describe it using just film titles, would you say?
Oh, film titles, my heaven's sakes. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I guess. It's basically looking for that repeat world Groundhog Day. It's a lot of rinse and repeat, but I think it's a life that honestly is quite enjoyable. There's a lot of redundant activities that become better and easier and funner. And honestly, I think it's that creativity that comes into play where you see both in Groundhog Day and in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, them taking the opportunities that they're presented each day. And honestly, they're making the most of them and they're just enjoying life. So that's how I'd portray it.
I love that. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a classic movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure there's one of the platforms that you can look at it. You've built a career helping accountants, bookkeepers, and tax pros launch and grow their firms there, Roger. What sparked your interest in guiding others to create premier accounting firms in their area? I'd love to know, because we've got a lot of my accounting network watching here down under and worldwide. So yeah, please, the floor is yours, sir.
Honestly, what it is this. I think in the accounting profession, a lot of us could become acquainted with the routine nature of the work, thinking that because it's something that's predictable, we can just kind of relax down into doing that compliance work on a regular basis. But in reality, as a profession, I've been striving to help individuals see two things. One, that there is so much more that we can be doing for the small business community as it relates to helping them understand the language of business, how that information is relative to the decisions that they're making in the company. But the second, and perhaps more importantly, is the idea that there is so much entrepreneurial opportunity running a successful bookkeeping, accounting, tax-related business. And so I work with accounting professionals around the world, helping them both start and build what I refer to as the premier accounting firm in their area. Colin, I think you've been muted, by the way. Oh my heavens, your voice went away. I don't know where it's gone. There it is. It's back.
We're back. StreamYard likes to do that every now and then, I must say. But I think we're back now. In terms of in terms of the local area, is that dependent on wherever they want to be, or where do you find like their area? Like if they want to be national and that's their goal, that's what you're saying. If you want to play in that pool, that's where you should be best, right?
I appreciate you asking that because you're right. Today, with the ability to work remotely, it isn't a geographical location. It perhaps is a niche that you're working in, an industry that you've identified. But when it's your area, it could be physical, a geographic thing that you're trying to say, in my local community, I'm that premier accounting firm, or it could be within an industry, an organization. And so it's
Yes.
truly how you choose to define yourself, because I work with individuals that are expats. They're traveling around the world. They work remotely and have very successful careers servicing their clients from anywhere. So it's really an area that you choose to define.
I love that. I love that. And you're also a best-selling author and podcast host. Tell us more about those projects and, why you've chosen to do those pursuits. Because, everyone can say, oh, I've got a book in me. You know what it's like. Or I'm going to start that podcast. But you're one of the rare breeds, probably the 1% of people who actually do those things. So tell me more.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up because, yes, for years, people asked that I write a book, encouraged that I go ahead and do that. And the same with podcasting. And one of the things that I thought was very important is before I did either, I needed to find what was that message that I wanted to convey? How was I going to be utilizing it? And honestly, how would that be relevant to anyone who would read or listen? And so as it became possible to do a podcast, after probably as many as 5 years, I finally understood what that platform could do for my listeners. And from there, I've now been basically hosting a show for over 5 years. We've got over 300 episodes where I focus on building the premier accounting firm. And I bring on experts to essentially address those things related to marketing, selling, pricing, tech stacks, training staff, onboarding clients, retaining clients, but even as perhaps as important is mental health. So all those things are things that we focus on. But as it comes to the book, it's taking all that information that you acquire over years of experience and you have it clear in your own mind, but you have context. So to now go through that challenging part of taking it and putting it in print, you really have to figure out how do you communicate all this information that makes sense to you in a way that's informative and useful to a reader. And that exercise, as easy as it may seem, it's very daunting, takes time. And fortunately from that, I've been a co-author on 2 books and I've written 2 books of my own.
Absolutely. So where can people get it? Your Strategic Accountant, I can see it in the background there on Amazon. Where are we putting this book? Where can they get their hands on it there, Roger?
Excellent question. I'm going to offer it for free, actually. You can actually go to universalaccounting.com, and in the free resources, right at the top of the page, you'll see ebooks. And I'm now offering that available to anyone for free. It's a phenomenal book. It's for owners of companies to understand how and why accounting is relevant to your being successful in business. It's how you should have a relationship with that accountant that you interact with, so that you actually ask the right questions and get the information you need so that you can run your business more intentionally using the numbers.
That's very generous of you there, Roger. So if you are just joining the show, please put your questions. We're beaming live, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, X, and we'll be putting it to the podcast. But Roger has very kindly said that his book is to download for free on the website, universalaccounting.com. Please check it out ASAP. I'd love to ask you, and obviously you probably go into it in the book, what is the secret to helping firms scale and thrive?
Oh, it's a simple question to answer. It's basically 2 key things. It's confidence and competence. I cannot emphasize enough of all the successful individuals I've interacted with that the first thing that they have is the confidence to look peers in their eyes, business owners in their eyes, and say, I can take care of you. I can take care of your accounting needs. I can do what it is you're offering. But the second key element is then to be able to go back to the office and competently do the work, actually do it efficiently and profitably. Those 2 things are what I feel determine the success of anyone in business.
No, very well said. Have you been inspired by any other trains of thought or books? I see you've got Red Black in the background, In the Black, other things like that. Has there been any mentors in your life that have got you to this point of strategic understanding? I'd love to just unpack that a little bit more for you, Roger.
You know, there's a number of books that come to mind. Some of them are the obvious ones. You might think of E-Myth, where we're talking about the idea of standardizing your systems and so forth. There's the book that's Think and Grow Rich. It's a mental transition to realize that abundance is there in life. There's just so many books that I could actually go forth and mention. But one I'm going to emphasize is one called Atomic Habits. And habits or well, let me just focus on atomic habits. Atomic habits, think about it. It's such a unique word where it first of all implies something so small that at an atomic level, it's something that is so simple, but also so cosmic in the sense that it could be this atomic explosion that can be so disastrous, let's say. And what I'm trying to point out is in the book, he does a great job of showing how simple things can have huge reactions. And
Yes.
that cause and effect is powerful. And in the book, Atomic Habits, one of the things I've identified is what am I doing in my life already habitually
Yes.
that I can then insert something more
Yes.
I'd like to accomplish and make it part of that routine I'm already doing. And with that small incremental change or inclusion, I'm going to now influence or change my day. And I think that is so impactful to realize that that small change, that small addition can have that lasting, huge impact.
James Clear, if you haven't read Atomic Habits before, it's an absolute game-changing book. Read it many years ago, and it's worth a reread as well. And it talks about one of the stories I particularly remember there, Roger, is everyone has the goal of going to the gym every day, right?
Yeah.
Or doing exercise. And it's a great goal to have. Everyone probably puts it on their board. But he talks about a lady from New York. Now, if you've been to New York, not many people have cars, right? People run walks everywhere. So this particular, I think she was a CEO or a company director. She needed to, for her health, go to the gym every day. So she booked a taxi at 5 a.m. every morning to pick her up to keep her accountable. And that was the small habit that she did every day to get to the gym. And it's as easy as putting the shoes next to your bed. Yes. Or getting the water ready in the fridge or something like that. What you're saying is so easy that at an atomic level, you can make it happen. I love that. Yes. What's a surprising skill that has helped Roger Knecht do what he does best? Anything that not many people know that, oh, I didn't know Roger did that, or that's helped him in his life?
Being curious. Just having that curiosity, that natural thing that we have as young children to just be wanting to ask questions, listen. And I think that's one of the things that's really helped me in my life, just to be able to be curious about individuals, processes, systems. And by doing so, I learned so much. And it's not about me. It's about the other person, the process, the business.
Very well said. Very well said. And be curious all throughout your life, everyone. How do you unwind after a particularly tough day? Changing gears a little bit. You're obviously dealing with high stakes conversations with your clients, helping them grow thriving businesses. But obviously life is all about enjoying the time with family and doing things to make that light your spirit. How do you do that for you, Roger?
Wow, it's a great question because there are so many things I do enjoy doing, but generally speaking, it's spending time with my wife at the end of the day. She tends to want to watch a show or something, and it's just nice to sit down with her and unwind, but more importantly, just let my mind wander. If it can just kind of be distracted from those day-to-day activities that I'm involved in, it's a great way to kind of disconnect and unwind for the day.
Well, shout out to your wife. Is your wife in the finance field as well?
She is not. In fact, she just retired last week. She is now a free woman, so I don't know what she's going to be doing at this point.
Well, congratulations to her. That's an amazing achievement. And if you're re-listening or re-watching, obviously Roger just shouted you out, so that's amazing. Any passion projects maybe you're working on now at UAC or beyond that you can share and that you might want to draw some attention to?
Wow, passion projects. Yeah, there's a few things. We have what's called the Accountrepreneurs Challenge that we're doing for the accounting profession. It's something that we do as part of our Give Back program. Each and every year we have a new thing that we try to do to kind of give back to the accounting community and do so freely. And this is what we're offering today is the Accountrepreneurs Challenge. But the other thing I'd point out is we actually have in 2026 a few goals. One, everybody's excited about AI, so we're trying to see where we can implement it within our business. And we found a number of places that we're already using.
Great.
I think this is one of the things that's really getting me excited about 2026 because we're hopefully adapting as change comes about rather than shunning it and running away from it. We're embracing it. The second thing I'd say is we have an annual conference that we do for accounting professionals. It's basically an international one. We do have people that travel from around the country or around the world, but it's in May, and it's basically where we highlight the business opportunity as it relates to accounting professionals, those owners of bookkeeping, accounting, and tax businesses come to hear from the experts and, more importantly, kind of expand their horizons as to what's really possible in their own companies. And so that's something that excites me as it pertains to 2026.
Sounds like some exciting things. And that's a nice little segue into my next question, because where do you see the accounting and bookkeeping profession going in the next 10 years with the rise of things like AI? I'd love to get Roger Knecht's perspective on this.
I think what we're going to see is in the coming years, far more attention being put on the creative side of accounting, which is the forecasting, the budgeting.
Okay.
It's the idea of here's the information.
Yes.
What do we do with it next? And so many businesses struggle with cash flow. Many businesses
Yes.
don't understand what it is that's on the horizon of the business because accounting so often has been perceived as a historical recording, what's going on in the
Looking in the
past so that we
past.
can maybe file for taxes. I believe that dynamic's going to change. Business owners are going to see accounting as that essential part of the business to help them transition more quickly and basically address some of the cash flow needs that they have more deliberately. So for me, I believe accounting professionals who embrace the opportunity to engage with their clients in that more proactive stance are going to have a very thriving profession or career, if you will, here in the coming years as they leverage things like AI to better service the client.
Amazing, amazing. And if we look back at your long and storied career, is there any notable anecdotes or memorable client requests that have stuck in your mind that might be anonymously, of course, that you might want to share?
Well, I don't know if this is perhaps answering your question, but it does stand out in my mind. When I began with the company back in 1999, it was a traditional school. We had classrooms, we had teachers. It was, campuses around the country we were
Yes.
offering training. We, over the years, had to adapt. And like so many businesses, I am not anything like we were back 26 years ago. When we started the company and had the classrooms, I can now say we've closed all classrooms. We've moved entirely online. All of our
Of course.
curriculum is now delivered via the internet. So I have students that are around the world that are able to log in, go through the training at their leisure. And that's phenomenal because what I originally signed on with doesn't exist anymore. That traditional classroom environment isn't what's offered. And I think that's allowed the company to really branch into not only new markets, but offer additional trainings and really meet the student where they are. If they want to go through the training at 2 in the morning or at 6 a.m., they can definitely do so. There's not a class that they have to get up, travel to, and attend. So that's been something that I think has really kind of changed. And it's not necessarily been customer driven, it's been more
Okay.
technology driven. So there
Yes.
you go.
No, I love that. I love that. And it's probably in the next 26 years, because no doubt you'll still be the president and CEO then. It'll be look entirely different in 26 years, right?
There you go. Yeah, no, it's going to change. I can tell you next year just with the AI alone.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And we talked about books and influences. Has there been any people in your life or any mentors that have helped you get to where you've been over the years?
Yeah, there are a few mentors or business coaches, if you will,
Yes,
individuals in my life that I can look back and say, they influenced how I manage, how I interact with other
yes,
employees. The former president of Universal Accounting was very instrumental in that, Alan Bostrom. He's retired and been retired for a number of years, but I still meet with him on a monthly basis and I find
yes.
his interactions inspirational. There was a gentleman that I worked with as a business coach, Scott Stevenson, another gentleman that was a manager. I went through a training program at a previous company with him. His name was Marv Curtis. Each of these individuals brought to me not only an understanding of business, but also of how to interact with employees, how to motivate, inspire, how to actually manage them so as to hold them accountable. And so those types of things have been instrumental in creating the management style that I embrace today.
Amazing, amazing. So shout out to all those people, Alan, if you're watching and whatnot. Incredible. If you could change one thing in the accounting profession, you can be as polarizing as you want there, Roger. What would that one thing be?
Oh, I'll take that. I'm gonna actually run with it. One
Go.
of the things that I think, and I make a great deal of a living off of teaching tax. I really do feel that technology is to the point now where we could step away from this archaic way of not only collecting taxes, but processing or determining taxes. I believe we're at a point now with technology and so forth that we can move in a direction of having a much simpler tax code and collect it. And I'm meaning that in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, United States, United Kingdom, you name it. I think what we have as a profession, as an industry, as old as it is, could actually be seen a tremendous change simply because of the fact that what we do today to pay and employ individuals to do taxes as it is now should change. Now, I think I'm going to benefit quite a bit from that change because change means training and so forth.
Of
But the
course.
point is I think what we've been doing over these number of years to actually have such a complicated tax code in so many countries can be simplified and in that process make a lot of people a lot happier. So there you go.
There you go. Amazing. You heard it here first. Guys, we're coming near to the end of the stream. So if you've got any last minute burning questions for this absolute behemoth, put them in the comments. As I said, we come out Wednesday. So if you're rewatching, re-listening, thank you so much. And be sure to give the show a cheeky follow on Apple or Spotify. One of the last questions I'd love to ask, we've got a lot of young accounting professionals that tune in, that are starting their careers. What would be advice that you would like to have been given or that you want to impart to them today, would you say, Dave Roger?
To embrace more of the CFO advisory space and understand what it is that you should be doing in the capacity of working with management or business owners to help them understand the application of the financial information in business decision making. I think too often what was seen as an accounting profession was one where it was you don't speak unless spoken to, you don't attend meetings unless invited, you come with information, but you only share it if asked for. I think it's not a reactive type position any longer. It needs to be one where we have a voice, we're willing to say and point out trends and analyze what's happening in the business. And we need to be the ones bringing information to the discussion and pointing out things that the business owners need to know to make the decisions they need to be making. So it's a proactive role rather than a reactive role that I think historically has been more common.
That's amazing. Absolutely. So being proactive rather than reactive. And the final question of the stream before we get into some bonus questions when we bring you back on, how would you one day, when it's all said and done, Roger, like to be remembered, either personally or professionally?
Easy. I'd like to be seen as someone who was kind, a great father, a great husband. I'd like to be seen as someone that had a legacy of caring. That's what I'd like to be known for.
Absolutely. And you're most likely already doing that in spades. And thank you so much for being so generous with your time coming on the show. Where can people find you? Where can they learn more about you? What would be the best way for people to go, you know what, I'm interested in what Roger's saying. This is the next step I should do. What would you suggest?
Love to connect with people on LinkedIn. Just go there and find me. I'd love for you to direct message me and mention this podcast. Happy to know that you heard what we were discussing here today, but connect with me on LinkedIn. For the school, definitely go to universalaccounting.com. You can access the free resources that I mentioned there, as well as find the podcast that I alluded to or the conference that I spoke of earlier.
Fantastic. Very good. Well, please do that, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the show, Roger. It's been an absolute treasure to have. And we'll bring you back in just a moment, my friend.
Thank you.
And if you're a Ledger legend or you know someone who is and you'd like to be on the show, we come out every Wednesday with Live with Cullen Haynes with Ledger Legends, Law Live, and of course our Live with Cullen Haynes show. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Feel free to give us a cheeky follow on the socials. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, X, and of course, Apple Podcast and Spotify, wherever you get them. Bye for now, everyone. Make it count and take care. Bringing you back, Roger, if you had to explain your role to what you do every day to a child, how would you make it as simple as possible? How would you let them know what you do?
I help people achieve their dreams as it relates to accounting. It's really just basically helping individuals accomplish a career that they can be proud of.
Amazing. Amazing. How would your family describe you at home versus who you are at work with the different masks that we wear?
Wow, that they would describe me differently than I am at work. So that's kind of humorous. I'm probably easygoing. I'm probably casual. I'm perhaps seen as someone that's behind the scenes. I let my wife run the roost. It's her domain, and I definitely respect that. Whereas here at the office, totally opposite. So there you go.
There you go. And I love this question. If you could go back in time, Back to the Future's big down under, it probably is in the States. If you could get into your DeLorean, gun it to 88 and go and visit the younger Roger Knecht, what year would it be? How old would you be? And what would the specific advice you'd give yourself be, Roger?
I'm going to say 16.
Yes.
I would say definitely date more, and more importantly, I would say have a positive attitude, an attitude of abundance. I think back then I was a little bit too pessimistic, and at the same time didn't realize the opportunities that presented themselves. And I think I would be wise to back then have embraced so many of the opportunities that were presenting themselves, just to enjoy life and make the most of it.
There you go. I think that's an amazing message to impart, I think, especially that one of positivity and abundance, because I think that's a natural thing with teenagers. They seem to go to this, I was a teenager, obviously, you go to this planet where it is a little bit negative, and there's so much, especially in this information age. Being a teenager now would be very different to when I was a teenager, when you're a teenager. So a great message to have that attitude of abundance. Again, checking up from the neck up, attitude of gratitude. Great stuff there, Roger. Thank you so much for being on the show today. What's the plan for the rest of the evening? I know it's about, 6:45 over there now, almost 7 o'clock?
It is. It's a family dinner. I'm going to go see my children and grandchildren, spend some time with them, and relax. It's the end of the day here, so I'm excited for that. And you're in tomorrow, so make the most of it.
Absolutely. And I can't believe you're a grandfather. You certainly don't look it. You must be doing something right, let me tell you.
I do exercise every day, so how about that?
There you go there, Roger. Thanks so much again. Thank you for joining, and bye for now, everyone. Happy Wednesday and happy Tuesday evening over in the States.
Cullen, it was a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And always remember this, if it's about accounting, it is universal.
Oh, I love that. Very good. Follow Roger on LinkedIn. Have a look at the website and grab that ebook. All the best, everyone. Take care. Hey there, Cullen Haynes here, Australia's leading broker for lawyers on LinkedIn, and here's why I want to talk to you today about my new book, The Laws of LinkedIn, 23 ways to find your tribe, build your following, and make 7 figures on LinkedIn. When I started this journey 7 years ago, when we built, myself and Andrew, my business partner, we built legal home loans from the ground up, the pain point for us was we were at a standing start. No one knew who we were. We had no money, we had no contacts, and basically we had to find a way to make our voice heard, talk to our tribe, the legal community, and build trust. And the only thing we had at our disposal was LinkedIn, which was and still is free. There's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, and I wish when I started I had this book with me to guide me, because I basically distilled my 23 top leading hacks that we use to build our business to a 7+ figure, and I really want to get it out there and share it with you. So if you're back